I be insecure real quick? What's good, y'all? I'm LoneeAppleton, and I am a healthy family advocate. What that means is I advocate for all of us to be okay. Okay in our relationships, okay with our children, okay with our parents, okay with ourselves, okay with our spirits. It's the best of all worlds. Right here on As the Apple Turns. Hope you decide to follow. Join the community. Yeah, I want to be insecure. I was sharing messages with a friend and I was like, you know what? This is worthy to share. Worthy to share because I want to share my vulnerability with you all. Why? Because as delusional as it may be, I feel that we have a connection. And I only say the delusional part because some of you guys feel I'm delusional. My husband being one of them. I said delusional to appease that disbelief, but I don't feel that I'm delusional. I have some of the best relationships of my life from the imaginary people on this here internet. I had to pull out the old trusty throwback, those of you who've been rocking with LoneeAppleton for a ton of time. You know this hat. Yes, I'm about to take my braids out, but we ain't done it yet. So I'm talking to this individual and I'm just like, what if the vision that I have for myself is delusion? One of the most inspiring things that I've seen in my life was Kanye West's documentary on Netflix. I remember watching his mom talk to him and I was like, she is speaking spells over him because the way that she consistently says his name when she speaks to him is methodic. That woman was a genius and so is her son. But I watched him riding around in whatever car he was riding around in with one hubcap, and then I see Kanye West today. But do we ever know what we see on TV? Do we know if it's real? Do we know if these people really came from the bottom, or are they really just something that they fabricated for us to see? When I first got on TikTok, I told the story of how I stood outside the Staples Center next to this group. We kind of knew them because they were on BET, but wasn't nobody really checking for them. That's why I say y'all ain't gonna be checking for LoneeAppleton until someone tells you to check for LoneeAppleton. Because these singing ladies have emerged from that group individually, and one of them is one of the most famous, richest black women in the world now. And I stood next to her outside the Staples Center laughing with my cousin because people were paying us more attention than when they were paying them. And that's not me saying nothing but telling the truth. Because as black women, we are bred and taught to see each other as competition. We are bred and taught to see each other as competition, so much so that a mother looks at her own child and sees her as competition. What's good, y'all? I'm LoneeAppleton. I'm a healthy family advocate. If that is your content of choice, please consider following, commenting, sharing, reposting videos with your community so that we can grow, as well as supporting the community by putting a tip in the tip jar, shopping the merch, and picking up your copy of What's the Best That Can Happen at LoneeTaylorArt.com. Community support is so fetch. So yeah, I'm standing next to this group and we're laughing because I was like, these chicks got videos on BET and they're supposed to be all this, rah-rah. But they standing outside the Staples Center next to us and people walking by them and looking at me and my cousin. But the reason why the relevance of that story is something happened in their brains where they went from little girls standing outside the Staples Center trying to get noticed to super mega stars. And I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, I was like, how do I flip the switch? Okay, I have gone through an evolution from, I'm just going to make these videos and I'm going to be inspirational every once in a while and say something that may matter to somebody, but this ain't that. I went from hiding behind my family and showing family moments to show you all to stop taking your lives for granted. We're all sitting for these major things. We're all waiting to be, riding into our wedding on an elephant for our lives to matter. But the fact that we are sitting next to the human that we love enough to marry and share our lives with and to become one with, that's the fucking moment. I am so in love with my husband right now. I am so in love with this man. Jamaica did something. Jamaica saved my marriage. And when I say saved my marriage, I don't mean we would have gotten a divorce. I don't think I will ever leave this man unless I want to be alone for the rest of my life. Because he's the best that I can get. I'm not saying he's the best out there. I'm saying he is the best that I can get. If I could check some damn boxes of the perfect man for me, my husband is the perfect man for me. And that's not for you to be jealous of or for you to envy. That's for you to understand that if Lonnie can find the perfect man for her, you can find the perfect man for you. We are not the same, but we are. I'm just tapped into something different. And now that you're aware that we could tap in, let's tap in, okay? Damn, I accidentally posted my last video as a story. Shucks. I don't want to story these because these are going to be too dope to have to disappear after 24 hours. What's good, John LoneeAppleton? I am a healthy family advocate. I can't see straight, so that either means or it means I've been staring at my phone for too long. Probably both. It might mean my prescription's out of date. Probably twice. If that is your content of choice, please consider following, commenting, sharing, posting videos with your community so that we can grow, as well as supporting the community by putting a tip in the tip jar, shopping our merch, and picking up your copy of What's the Best That Can Happen, all at LoneeTaylorArt.com. The tip jar is at Cash App, but the rest is at LoneeTaylorArt.com. I left off the last video on a tangent, but I wanted to get back on my point. When we look at these celebrities or these people that made it, because very few of us personally know someone who has done something serious. I went to high school with Columbus Short, but aside from being on Scandal and, being caught up in a scandal of his own, which I'm not surprised at that, because I remember I had to get between him and a female we went to school with because he was trying to fight her. I got in between him. I was like, is this really what we about to do? Is this what we about to do? Because in order to fight her, you got to fight me. And he backed down. So when the news came out about Mr. Short, I was like, yeah, that don't surprise me. Because I seen him nut up on a few females in high school. But I don't know. Maybe because I grew up with him and I saw him in the light that I saw him. Like, we went to church. He used to fight with my cousin for leads in the church choir. So maybe he never switched out of that space of, okay, Columbus, I'm gonna respect the name that you go by now, but that's not who you were when we went to church together, went to school together. And that's another form of, because I knew him in the capacity that I knew him, he wasn't able to click out of that space that I hold for him. So even calling him Columbus is kind of, I'm faking because that ain't his name, but that's his name. That's what he goes by. I go by Lonnie, and that's why my family refuses to call me that, even though I've been Lonnie since I was 18 years old. I've been Lonnie longer than I was my former name, but my family refuses to click over. And now that I'm thinking about Columbus, because I knew you locked into my brain as your former self. And maybe that's why Andre and Dre struggle with consistency with Ezra, because Ezra locked in at their former self. That's a good point. I should share that with Ezra because they need some compassion.